In episode 72, the Astro Detainer toilet was defeated by G-Man and was almost killed. Well, I've got something I want you to think about. What if these circumstances were different? What if the Astro Detainer defeated G-Man and/or won in episode 72, part 2? What would this change? Would it really make much of a difference? If so, how? I will answer that question later in the video, but I have a much more meaningful question to be addressing. We would actually have to think about how G-Man would avoid coming out on top of this battle, and how he would actually be defeated by the Detainer Astro Toilet. In the original story, the Astro was originally defeated because of his high confidence, thinking he could take on a much more powerful opponent. The Astro was outsmarted by G-Man. G-Man launched a yellow orb at the Detainer, which the Detainer proceeded to deflect. But then, G-Man launched the two purple and yellow orbs, making the Detainer think they were the same as the orbs before. This allowed the Detainer's arms to be controlled, and almost made the Detainer kill himself, meaning the Detainer had to cut off his arms so they wouldn't kill him. Then the Detainer was saved by the Astro Juggernaut toilet. To be honest, this would be quite difficult. What if 2 makes scenarios for, as the Astro would always have been weaker than Jimmy, so it's quite hard to tell how he'd defeat Jimmy. So I came up with a few scenarios. Firstly, after Jimmy shoots the yellow and purple orbs, the Astro realizes there's something up with the orbs, and they should just be dodged and deflected. But I don't know if the Astro would even win after that. That's one scenario. I hope you liked it. But you need to hear this next one. In this next instance, the Detainer would get back up. The Astro Juggernaut would come a lot earlier than beforehand, accompanied with the assailant Astro Toilet as well, meaning G-Man would have to 1 vs 3 some pretty strong Astros, and I do not know if he'd manage to survive that, as he wouldn't be able to outrun 3 Astros because of their speed. The last scenario is just that if the Detainer was smart and wasn't overly cocky and up his own ass. That third scenario was pretty boring, so if you have any ideas of how the Detainer could win, tell me in the comments. Let me hear those ideas of yours. The second scenario is the clear superior in this case, so let's stick with that one for this video, where the Detainer gets back up from the other 2 Astros, being the assailant and the Juggernaut. What would happen next? Instead of the Detainer absorbing the 2 purple and yellow orbs and almost killing himself, he'd probably be warned by the other 2 Astros to not do so, and they would all attack Jimmy together instead. We all know Jimmy would probably flee somehow, but to make it interesting, let's say the Astros kill Jimmy. However, this means that the epic battle T in episode 73, part 2, between the 3 Titans and G-Man would never happen. I'm not even sure if the Alliance would find the humans, as they might not have even needed to go there, as there might have been no toilets due to the death of Jimmy. Also, Titan Cameraman would be stuck with the acid arm, as the Detainer would never have lost his arms in the first place, meaning Titan Cameraman would never be able to take it, making him a bit weaker with just the acid shooter. But on the bright side, the Alliance would probably be celebrating the death of G-Man, as both Titan Speakerman and Titan Cameraman would never get injured in the big battle in episode 73, part 2. But the Alliance would be at a loss due to not being able to get info from G-Man about the Astro invasion, as that would probably just happen suddenly with no warning, as Jimmy would not be able to warn them in episode 73. This means in episode 74, Titan Cameraman would probably not go missing, as all 3 Titans may be able to stand a chance against the fleet of Astros that showed up in episode 74, as both Titan Speakerman and Titan Cameraman wouldn't be as injured as originally, but the Detainer would probably be in this fleet too. But that begs a question. Would the Astros still invade due to Jimmy being dead? Did they invade to kill Jimmy originally, or were they just hungry for power? If they were just hungry to conquer, they'd probably invade anyway, and may get clapped by the Titan trio. But we don't know how strong the mothership truly is. It would probably be safe to presume that the Titans wouldn't attempt to fight the Legion of Astros, and Titan TV Man would probably teleport Titan Cameraman and Titan Speakerman back to their respective bases for upgrading, and the duo would probably return later on, Titan Cameraman returning a few episodes later, as all he really needs is a new arm. I think it would be like episodes 41 to 47 all over again, where Titan TV Man is the main Titan defeating the Astros, now having to deal with the Detainer too. Everything else would remain similar, but I feel like the team-up between the Alliance and the skibidi toilets can still happen, as they may be against the Astros for killing their leader. So episodes 75 and 76 would play out the same. It begs the question of if the TV men would still betray the cameramen, probably as they would still be collecting samples of Astros, and the mission the assailant and the Duchess were talking about in episode 76 may not take place, as it's believed that they were going after Titan Cameraman, but in this what-if scenario he would be upgrading, so maybe the Duchess may let the POV cameraman give her more yogurt. If you know, you know. It doesn't change the fact that the Alliance, the skibidi toilets, would team up to defeat the Astros. But there is one noticeable change: Jimmy would never get his Titan body due to his death, which means the Titans could have a lot more struggle with the Astros until the return of Titan Speakerman. Watch him become the best Titan after his upgrades. Quote me on that. It does not matter what happens next, because I'm assuming the Astros we haven't seen may be hard for the Titans to cope with. Bear in mind, Titan TV Man's screen was almost destroyed by the Detainer in episode 70, part 1. Imagine if he's not careful later on. Well, that's all I can say for What If the Astro Detainer Toilet won in episode 72, part 2. As we are not far enough in the series to know what this would significantly change that much, other than the survival of Titan Cameraman and Jimmy's death. So, did you guys enjoy that? Let me know if you agree within the things I said in the comments, and if not, tell me in the comments your theories and what you think would happen if the Detainer won and killed Jimmy. And if this gets 100 likes, I will make a part 2 when we get a bit later on in the series, because Jimmy's death surely would have to change something, right? Well, I'm Darker Speakerman, and that was What If Astro Detainer won in episode 72, part 2. Darker Speakerman signing out.